Beijing/Shanghai, Reuters. President Donald Trump can return to the United States claiming to have snagged over $250 billion in deals from his maiden trip to Beijing. Whether those deals live up to the lofty price tag is another question altogether. The $250 billion haul underscores how Trump is keen to be seen to address a trade deficit with the world's second-largest economy that he has long railed against and called shockingly high on Thursday. These deals allow Trump to portray himself as a master dealmaker while distracting from a lack of progress on structural reforms to the bilateral trade relationship, Hugo Brennan, Asia analyst at risk consultancy Verisk Maplecroft, said in a note. Some huge deals were announced. Among them is a 20-year $83.7 billion investment by China Energy Investment Corp in shale gas developments and chemical manufacturing projects in West Virginia, a major energy-producing state that voted heavily for Trump in the 2016 election. It marks the first major overseas investment for the newly founded China Energy, which formed from the merger of China Shenhua Group, the country's largest coal producer, and China Godian, one of China's top 5 utilities. However, as is often the case during state visits, many of the deals were packaged as non-binding agreements, gave scant details or rolled over existing tie-ups, helping pump up the headline figure. I am somewhat skeptical of such a large number, Alex Wolf, senior emerging markets economist at Aberdeen Standard Investments, told the Reuters Global Markets Forum, adding that the overall tone of the visit so far had been positive. Qualcomm signed non-binding agreements worth $12 billion with Xiaomi, Oppo and Vivo, 3 Chinese handset makers that the firm said it had long-standing relationships with. Qualcomm already earns more than half of its revenues in China. Boeing announced a deal with state-run China Aviation Suppliers Holding Company to sell 300 Boeing jets with a valuation of $37 billion at list prices, though analysts said it was unclear how many of these were new orders. Interesting to see how many of those are past agreements/purchase orders repackaged. Beijing is a master of selling the same agreement 10 times, former Mexican ambassador to China Jorge Guajardo posted on Twitter. Speaking alongside Trump and Beijing as they announced the deals, Xi said the Chinese economy would become increasingly open and transparent to foreign firms, including those from the United States, and welcomed you. Companies to participate in his ambitious Belt and Road Infrastructure-led initiative. Now let's see what really happens and whether or not the agreements signed during this trip can become a basis for a better bilateral trade relationship going forward.